Hi guys, today we are going to learn about module creation in Magento. So I have installed my Magento and I'm working on the same Magento directory as you can see here. I just cd into my Magento and this is my Magento root. First of all, let me check. This is the default Magento command that will give you a list of all the available CLI commands for Magento, and we are going to work with modules today. So this section is what we are more concerned about. So first of all, we'll check that how many modules are there in Magento. So I'll just use this command, and here's a list of all modules. You can see that these modules are prefixed by Magento because they are core Magento modules and we don't have any specific modification for our Magento. But simultaneously there are a couple of other modules like these Timendo shipping, social, and a couple of others which were related to my key that I have used while installing my Magento. So when you purchase any module on Magento marketplace, that is linked with your Magento, with the key, and once you install Magento using your private key or public key as username and password, they are also fetched. Today we are going to create one new module, and for that let me guide you through the process. So here we are in Magento's root directory. We have the app folder and we will be creating a new folder here named as code. One thing to note here is that Magento has basically three types of components. Magento has three types of components. First are modules, the second are themes, and the third one are the languages. So these three components we use to create various modules, and any modification in Magento can be done using any of these three components. Themes are mostly for the front end use of Magento, and any modification on the client side needs to be done using themes only. Then any functional changes that we need can be done using modules, but the front end changes can also be done using modules where we can define the area where we are going to work. And then the last place is the language package. This component is used for editing or adding new languages in Magento core. By default, Magento uses English language, and we can create a language component here to add new languages in Magento. Now, as we have created a new folder named as code in our app directory, so when we are going to create a new module, first of all we'll have to define a namespace for that, and I'll use LITOVA, which is my website's name as well, and this will be my namespace for module. And I have some rough work for me for this lecture, and I decided to keep first unit as my module name. So I'll use first unit as my module name. Make sure you don't have any spaces before or after folder name, because I have faced this problem earlier where there was a space in my folder name and I wasn't able to dig that for like the whole day. Now we have the namespace folder, and under that we have the module folder. Now we have to create basic two files here. Ideally Magento suggests three. One is composer.json, the other is module.xml, and the third one is registration.php. Let me go to any Magento's core module. We have vendor folder, here we have Magento, and we have module -customer. So this is the basic Magento module, one of the most advanced Magento module as well, because they have the service contract implemented throughout. Now if you see that they have their composer.json file, they have registration.php file, and the other file is module.xml, which is in etc folder. Where is module? Yeah. So these three files are required for any Magento module to be recognized by Magento's framework. So just for my ease, I'll be copying this registration.php file into my module, and I'll be editing it into the IDE. I have chosen the NetBeans for this because it's a freely available IDE, and I think there will be no problem if I use this module. If you see that we have the module's name in here, and I'll be replacing this with my module's name, and I just paste it here. I have already written it earlier just for this lecture. So we have component registrar class, in which we will be calling the register function whenever my register.php is getting called, and then in component registrar I'll be passing a module with my module's name. I'll be guiding you through how this class works, but let's keep it as it is, and we create one new folder named as etc, and inside this we will be pushing our module.xml. I think I like copy pasting because it saves some time for me, but sometimes it doesn't work. So I'll use module.xml, and I'll open it in the free IDE, and yep, this is the other chunk of code that I wrote for myself. So here you can see that I have a config node, and in which we will define that we are using XML namespaces, and then what is our class path. We have Magento's framework, and under that we have module etc module.xsd, where the code is written to identify or read the module.xml file. Inside this we have a module node where we define what will be our module's name, and the setup version will be the version of module. This sequence node is actually not mandatory, but is used when your module depend on some other module. So for instance, this particular module has a sequence Magento catalog. So whenever this module is getting loaded, before that Magento will forced to be loading this Magento underscore catalog or Magento catalog module. This is generally used when your module functioning. This particular module functioning depends on this module. For example, you are modifying something in a product, so there should be a module, or there should already be a functioning related to products. So that is why sequences are used. You can add multiple sequences here as well, and these two are the basic files. Now what I'll do, I'll just go and I'll run module colon status again, and I can see that yes, my new module is here, but it is in disabled state. I'll use setup colon upgrade command. This command is used to run the database schema, the install and upgrade schema, install or upgrade data, and to push or to force Magento to recognize new files. So we have a completely new module here, so we'll be pushing Magento to recognize this. Now if I again hit the module status command, you will see that this module is no longer in the disabled module list, but this should be somewhere in enable modules. So our module is created and is enabled right now, and we can use it, or we can code anything inside it, whatever we want. We will be discussing further coding techniques, but before going to that, first of all let me tell you how this is loaded into Magento. So if we go to our Magento, then app, then I think etc folder should be there, Magento etc, then module. Okay, I'm here. Magento app, then we have etc, then we have non-composer register. So if you go to this files, and actually even before this file I'll go to again the composer.json. I'm not sure if I have already covered this in any other lecture, but The thing is, whenever Magento is bootstrapped, this file is included into this hierarchy, and if we go to this file, then you will see that it is expected to load all the registration.php files inside code folder. Inside code we have the vendor name here, that will be replaced by this star, and the module name, that will be replaced by this particular star, and the registration.php file will be loaded. They include it into the array and then loop it through, iterate over every element of that array, and then include that particular file. So as I told you that Magento has three types of components: module, theme, and language packages. For all three modules, you will see that Magento has already written code to include their registration.php file. For modules, we define inside code, so code's registration file. For theme, we define it inside the design, so inside design we have the area as well. So there are three: one is for vendor name, the other is for the theme name, and the third one is for the area name. And then we have registration.php, and this I18 section is for language package. So for any of the component, there is a registration.php that is must and is loaded from this place. So when we created this particular file and ran module : status command, Magento recognized this because it iterated over this file. Now in module.xml, this is kind of a homework for you. You can go to the schema loader for Magento, where all the module.xmls are checked, and they how Magento decide which particular module.xml needs to be called, and based on the sequence how Magento's overall XML structure is created. That is your homework. But before that, we will go to registration.php file, and you will see that in Magento's framework there is a class named as component registrar. That particular class will be used for all three components: module, themes, and language packages. So for our module, we call the register function of that particular class, and we pass two arguments. One is the type of component. For this particular case, it was module, and the other one was the name of component. So same thing will be going for the theme and the language package. Hope this will clarify your queries for Magento's module development. This is the basic requirement for any Magento module, and we will be discussing further techniques in the subsequent lectures. Thanks.